Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. Say, why do the French eat snails? Because they don't like fast food. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Marvel Age of Heroes from WizKids. We'll get back to the review in just a moment. I want to take a minute to ask you to check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about history, books on history, military history. I even post some of my lectures for my classes on there. Please check that out. Please subscribe to that channel. And now, back to the review. In Marvel Age of Heroes from WizKids, 2 to 5 players take on the roles of various superheroes as they attempt to take down the evil forces of darkness in this worker placement adventure. Essentially, each player is going to get their own player board, which is going to have kind of different spots for their relative strengths, using cubes to mark those places. You're also going to get a number of standees, depending on the number of players that you're going to place on your player board. You're also going to get a deck of evolution cards that will kind of help your characters to evolve powers over the course of the game. You'll also get a number of cubes, discs, and pentagons for your player area. Now, the board itself will be a number of open spaces. You're also going to get Institute cards, which you place at the top of the board, and you put a few of them out there on display, and each player is going to get 3 of the Institute cards to begin the game. Now, there are essentially 3 different kinds of Institute cards. There are ally cards, which you're actually going to put on the board to help you in certain locations. You're going to have team-up cards that you can place in the mission area to help you, again, team up for certain missions. And then you're also going to have kind of event cards that will have kind of bigger implications throughout the game. Now, what you're going to do during a round is each player is going to take turns placing their standees at different places on the board. Now, typically, you can place characters on any of the spots, in the Institute to gain, you can gain an evolution card to soup up your superhero. You can gain different cubes, which again, you don't physically take cubes, or rather you move your cube up on your dashboard there. But critically, in some places, you can place an ally card, which means you take one of the ally cards out of your hand, they're green, and you place them in any ally location on the board. And what this means is that ally card now becomes a new location that anybody can go to, but you put one of your discs above it so that whenever anybody goes there, you get a special reward for owning that location, essentially. But you go ahead and over the course of the game, more and more of these locations are going to pop up. Now, one of the places you can send your superheroes to is the mission area. Now, the first person to send their player to a mission area, he can place a team-up card in any of the mission team-up card spots. And again, just like with the ally cards, you can place your cube there. If anybody goes to use that, you get certain rewards for them doing that. And sometimes these rewards can be points, sometimes they can be other kinds of cubes or powers or evolution cards or different things that you can get as a result of owning that location. Now, as other players put their guys on the mission queue there, as soon as you've finished placing in the top, as soon as everybody's placed, then you resolve the mission. Now, what the mission is at the bottom of the board, you have actually placed your villains. Now, you have like 2 kinds, or kind of like puzzle pieces. You put the villain on one side and kind of the what you have to get in order to defeat him on the other side. Now, where villains have spaces for rewards and they match the other side of that card, those are the only ones you have to take out. So you go to some place and it'll say spend these many resources, and then you can get that specific reward.
So that's what you do. You take your guy from the mission and you place him on the villain in that spot. You pay the reward, or you pay the cost rather. You gain the reward, and that villain is that much closer to being defeated. But you can also go to some of the team up cards that have been placed in the mission area, and they maybe let you do things for those rewards, and they cost a lot less. So you can do that as well, but you're gaining points as you're taking out these villains. Now, if you don't want to send your mission guy to one of the places, you can't afford it, there's another spot where you can go to send your guys, and they gain different rewards. As the game evolves, you hit different turn numbers, the rewards for those spaces changes. They get to be a little bit more and more and more. But once you've gone through and you've got everybody's done with that mission, you go ahead, you clean up and you prepare, you bring back all of your superheroes and you prepare for the next round. Now, as soon as a villain has all of their matched areas covered, that villain is defeated, and it will tell you what to do. You may gain a different kind of villain will come out, or you may get the big, evil, bad boss villain will come out. And then you just go through, you try to defeat these villains, and as soon as that bad boss villain is destroyed, the game is over. Whoever has the most points wins. Marvel, Age of Heroes. Now, there's a few other things going on there. That's not a complete rules breakdown. That's just an overview, but basically that's how you play this game. This game, as I understand it, I think it's from the designers of, or one of the designers of Lords of Waterdeep. So it's almost got that kind of feel. What I like about this game is the way you play the cards, and the way your cards you play become these other spaces on the board. And that's really fun and really exciting, because when you place them in certain areas, for the rest of the game, you're going to get certain rewards based on that location. So that's a really cool and powerful tool in this game, and at the same time you're opening up more places for people to go to do things. And there are also, some cards, if you control a majority of those cards, you get points or you get bonuses or whatever. So there's just a lot of different ways to gain rewards in this game and points in this game, which is very cool. However, as the game wears on, you've got more and more of those cards, and there's fewer and fewer of those spaces. It seemed like the last few rounds, you keep getting cards, and there's not a lot you can do with them. I do wish there was some way you could still use the cards, ally cards, when even all the ally spots are taken. I wish there was some other fun and interesting things you could do there. So that was one thing I was a little hesitant on. But it's very much kind of a Euro worker placement game with taking out your villains. You're not chucking dice. You're essentially just saying, oh, I can go to this place, spend these resources, I get that reward. So it's a very kind of mathy idea here. And yet it is very thematic. You do really, especially like when you go the evolution cards, which are giving you more powers and abilities to your heroes, you start to feel more, you feel like, Cyclops or Phoenix or Wolverine or these characters. You feel like their powers are coming through here. And so it's a very asymmetric game as those powers begin to develop and evolve. And even the beginning of the game with like what your starting configurations are and stuff, the game is somewhat asymmetric. So that's very cool too, and I really like that. I think that makes the game, it kind of fleshes it out, and it makes it feel less, well, it brings the theme to it, right? So it's less just about the math, and it's how can I manipulate the cards, which are unique to my characters, in such ways to maximize my points here. And I really, really do like that. I played this a few times now, and every day I played with it, really enjoyed it. We really had a ball. We really had a lot of fun. I think this is a great worker placement game with a pretty good twist. If you like worker placement games, you'll get a huge kick out of this one, I think. And if you like the superheroes and the superhero theme, I think you'll have a lot of fun with it too. I did. Recommendation for the discriminating gamer for Marvel Age of Heroes is buy it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We'd ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. I'd also ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to please check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about military history and books on history, fun things like that. I'm also currently uploading my World War II lectures from my class onto that channel, so please subscribe to that. It would mean a lot to me. And please leave a thumb to this video on Board Game Geek as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm reading a book on Stockholm Syndrome. I hated it first, but now I really, really like it. Please somebody help me on my feet again.